Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I apologize if I sound stuffy or like I've been crying, because I have. I am. I shouldn't say I have been crying. I am currently crying. And I can't seem to, I just can't seem to stop. So what better time to do a podcast, right? Than when I'm a big heaping pile of goo and crying and I have a stuffed up nose. So what's been keeping me up? I can't stop thinking about my mom. It's coming up on her anniversary of when she passed. And it's coming up on the month that just everything in my life just seems to always leave or die. And so it's just not a great month. And so many of my family members have died on my birthday, or right around it, a couple of days before, a couple of days after kind of thing. And so April's just a really sucky month, and I am just missing my mom extra because I'm still so, I have a lot of guilt over how she passed. I mean, I'm not the one that, I didn't do anything to her, of course, but I'm the one that really, made her basically move out of her home, her paid-for home that she loved and had a beautiful view. But I did that because she was by herself. My dad passed away many years prior, and she did not qualify for someone to be in home to care for her. She didn't qualify for a caregiver to come to her house. And I didn't want her to be at an assisted living facility. I couldn't stop. They wouldn't pay me to take care of her. And unfortunately, I have to work. I have to have a source of income. I would have loved nothing more than to have just stayed home and to take care of my mom. I wish I would have done that. That's what I wanted to do. But I needed to work, and my sons needed to work, and that's all we have left. It's just my sons. At the time, it was my sons, my mom, and I. And so I wanted her to be in a place that was close to me so I could visit her all the time, so I could see her all the time. And then when COVID happened, of course, that all went down the drain. And so I am having just an obscene amount of guilt for, she was forgetting so many things. It was not safe for her to be by herself at all. She had actually, thank goodness, the garage is separate. It's separated by a door. But she left her car running for 2 days in the garage. I don't even know how it ran that long. I don't understand how it ran that long. I don't understand how it didn't turn off. She had told me it was 2 days. I don't know if it was 2 full days or not, but it was a long time. And little things like that she would do, and it got where she couldn't walk around and get around by herself. And I just wanted her to be near me. Then I could make sure she was cared for. And I didn't, because I wasn't allowed to. Because of Democrat policies by the Biden administration that prevented me, and the governor of Oregon at the time, that prevented me from seeing my mom. And she ended up needing a catheter, and that catheter did not get cleaned well. She wasn't able to go to all of her appointments like she was supposed to. And she ended up dying from being severely septic because the catheter that she had was not cleaned out properly because she could never get into her appointments because COVID was going on and everybody was short-staffed. And then the caregivers at the facility my mom was at, they were short-staffed and they had way too many residents for only, one person would have too many residents, and they just did not care for her. And I was never allowed in to check on her. And I had talked about this in my podcast before, but I broke the rules and I broke in to see my mom like 3 different times and told them they could just call the cops on me if they didn't like it. But I was not going to be kept away from my dying mother while she was scared. She would call me scared to death while she could still use the phone. While she could still use the phone, she would call me and say, "I'm scared. I want you to come see me. Why aren't you coming to see me? I'm scared. I'm alone." And then she got where she couldn't use the phone because she didn't remember my number. So I would call the caregivers and say, "Could you please put the phone up to my mom's ear? Could you please dial?" And I would try to put a picture so that she could see my picture and call me. But again, the staff got to where there wasn't a whole lot of people, and I would call and I would say, "Could you go put the phone to my mom's ear?" And they got where they didn't have time. So they were allowed to see my mom. They were allowed to be near my mom. All these strangers were allowed to be near my mom. These strangers were allowed to see my mom. But I couldn't. And I made her come. And so I can't sleep at night. I don't know if I'll ever be able to sleep again. And I try to focus on the good. And I try to focus on the good that I have and the things that I have. I really do. I try. And I make podcast after podcast saying, focus on the good, focus on the things that you can control. Let go of the rest. But how do you let go of that? My mom died. And I barely got to see her, and so many people went through that. So many people went through that. So many people died alone and scared because of policies that were absolutely unresearched and just a bunch of propaganda to make big farm money. That's what this was about. They risked people's lives. And I will bet you $1,000 that the claims of Big Farm injecting people when they injected everybody with the vaccine, with the COVID vaccine, I will bet you $10,000 there was shit in there that does nothing but hurt us. God knows what they actually injected our children with. Forced, shamed, censored people. They censored facts. They censored actual facts. They censored doctors. They censored counselors. They censored nurses. They censored anybody that actually had something contradictory to what they were trying to sell everybody. Anyone that tried to say, "Hey, here's some more information that you need to know," but if it was something different than what was being sold by the Democrat Party at the time, something different than their propaganda, they would censor. And if anybody, God forbid, questioned them and said, "I'm not really keen on putting something in my body that hasn't really been researched, that hasn't been out long, and we have no idea what the side effects are." They shamed people. They forced people to quit their jobs or get a vaccination. They censored people, which is against our Constitution. They censored people, which is against our Constitution. They took away our constitutional rights. I'll say it again. They took away our constitutional rights. They censored America. And what else did they do? They kept us from seeing our dying loved ones. I'm going to say that again. They prevented people, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, sons and daughters, grandparents from seeing family members and friends from seeing each other while they're dying, while they're sick. People were dying and sick and wanted nothing more than to be near their family, to touch their family members, to look them in the eyes, to talk to them so that they're not scared and they don't feel alone, so they don't die alone. So many people died alone because of fucking policies that were bullshit, that were crammed down our throats. And my mom is dead because of it. My mom is dead because of Democrat fucking policies. That is a fact. And I do not want people to forget that. I do not want people to forget that. I don't want people to forget about all the fraud that is going on in all Democrat fucking states. I'm sure it's going on in Republican states too, because politicians are just shitty. Politicians are just evil, evil people, no matter what side of the fence they're fucking from. They're just horrendous people. But I'm sitting here without a mom right now. I'm sitting here without a mom because of fucking politics, because of big farm wanting to get richer and richer and richer and make us all sicker and sicker and sicker. Because they don't give a shit about anything but big dollars. Big farm wants big fucking dollars, and that is all this is about. They use America. They use the citizens of America to close down everything. They close down everything but Walmart, but Home Depot. And then, of course, Jeff Bezos loves it because, everything's online now. Perfect. His entire store is online. You don't think that was by design? Sorry, I had to pause it for quite a bit. Anyway, Big Farm got a lot of money, and Jeff Bezos and Walmart and all these other places got to make huge money while all these mom and pop businesses had to close down. So mom and pop businesses have to close down, and meanwhile, Gavin Newsom gets to go all over the place, eating at restaurants. A lot of the Democrat politicians went out to restaurants, nobody wearing masks. So politicians can't get COVID. And Biden had fucking COVID, 4 times or some crap. And my mom is dead. I'm going to keep saying that. My mom died. Other people's moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and sons and daughters passed away needlessly for no fucking reason. No reason. Hospitals were getting money. We're being incentivized for passing out these vaccinations and for saying that people died of COVID. It's just the level of disgustingness that these big farm companies and that politicians have is just gross. The amount of people that they just kill off. Human life means nothing to them, especially children and elderly. You have places like Planned Parenthood that don't give a rat's ass about children. They sell body parts and organs from children. They're just pro-unaliving children. And right now, there are so many people that are just 100% on board with and cannot get enough of mutilating children, aborting children. I don't know. I'm sitting here. I was watching an episode of Cougar Town, and it was an episode where she finds out that her dad is in the early stages of dementia, and it just got me fucking going. And I can't ever sleep at night. I don't think I'll ever be able to. And then I think of all of these poor people elderly people who have to give up their homes that they have worked their asses off. They have seen wars, they have been through the Depression, and they have done nothing but work hard, all to have to decide, like, do they get taken care of or do they die? And in order to be taken care of, they have to sell their home so that they have money to care for themselves. You should not have to sell your fucking home so that you can continue to be cared for. Otherwise, what is your other option? You're an elderly person on the streets? We're going to kick our elderly out on the streets because no one gives a fuck about the elderly. No one respects the elderly anymore. No one understands that they're the ones that paved the way. I don't care if you like elderly people or not. They came here before you. They have seen things you haven't seen. They have worked harder than you. I mean, I don't know you. There's a lot of hard workers out there. I'm not trying to say that there aren't hard workers out there, but my God, we just toss the elderly aside like they're nothing. And we make them make impossible decisions, and their families make impossible decisions going, wow, do we keep our family home? The home that we have memories in, the homes that we grew up in, do we keep that or do we keep mom and dad alive? Do we have shelter for them? Because not everybody can have their family members live with them, especially if they have dementia. You have to have your house, someone with them. You have to have somebody there with them to help care for them. You have to have people caring for them. You have to have people, sorry, I've got a dog that keeps, I have a dog that keeps putting their head between my legs, and I think he knows that I'm upset, and so she and he, they are both, okay guys, they both know that I'm upset, so they're trying to cheer me up. Anyway, I am upset because there shouldn't ever be a time when people have to choose to give up their homes so that they can pay their bills, homes that they earned, homes they're paying, taxes on and paid mortgages on, and maybe their mortgage is paid off like my mom's, and it's finally, I just don't think it's fair that my mom, I don't have the house that I grew up in. I no longer have my grandparents' house that was willed to me because my great aunt, she's in hell because she was a horrible fucking person and stole my grandparents, willed me their home because I was incredibly, incredibly close to my grandparents. And that house is the house that I have the most memories in. It's the house that I had stability. It's the one house that was stable to me and that has my memories, and it was taken from me. It was willed to me, but my grandma had hospice only for 3 months, and that's it. And they did have insurance, but and then my grandfather was in memory care for 2 years. Actually, it was a year and a half. So, year and a half. And apparently there was a lien on my grandparents' home from the state of Washington to be able to pay the bills for my grandparents, which my grandparents had a gigantic, beautiful home with a 100 by 100 acre lot next to it, in addition to their huge home. And the state of Washington is trying to say that 3 months of hospice care when my grandma had insurance, and then a year and a half of care, which my grandfather was a veteran, by the way, a decorated veteran. So I don't understand why there was a lien put on their home to pay for the expenses. And if that lien wasn't paid, well, then the home went to the state. So the state got a million times more. They just got to steal my grandparents' home because of a year and a half that supposedly my grandfather owned, even though he was a veteran. My grandparents just the home was taken away from my family. So my great aunt even was the executor of the will. And it was willed to me. And all of a sudden, I'm at work and a lawyer shows up, and I'm 23 years old, and a lawyer shows up at my place of work and is telling me to sign these papers. And I'm like, first of all, I don't even know if you're a lawyer. And second of all, what are you talking about? I need a lawyer because I want to know what these papers are. I don't understand what this paperwork is. Well, it was paperwork to sign over the house to my aunt, because my aunt's like, well, you're 23. You can't afford to pay the lien. I can afford to pay the lien. So sign it over to me. I'll pay the lien. And then the house will be mine. And I'm like, I don't, and keep in mind, this is my great aunt, so it's my grandma's sister. And she was a cunt. She's a fucking bitch. May she rot in fucking hell, which is going to sound terrible to say, but I'm dancing on her right now. I hope it's hot as fucking hell for you, you fucking asshole. So I was 23 years old, and I was like, no, I'm not going to sign these. And I told the lawyer to get lost. And then I'm not joking you, I spent an obscene amount of money. This is when the internet, had only been around for not very long. I was on the internet searching high and low for Washington and Oregon lawyers that would take my case pro bono. I begged them to take my case pro bono. Couldn't find anybody to do it. I had no money to pay an attorney. I didn't know what to do. And then my aunt just kept calling me and saying, you need to give up the house. You need to give up the house. You can't afford it. You can't afford to pay the lien. I can afford to pay the lien. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I'll try to figure out the money. And of course, I couldn't figure out the money. And I ended up just signing the papers because I didn't know what else to do. I didn't have a lawyer and I didn't have anybody to help me. So that house got taken away, and it's currently now, she's got her kids living in it. She felt, she could have paid the lien, and then knowing that my grandma, her sister, wanted that home to go to me because we were incredibly close. It wasn't like I was some grandchild that never talked to her grandparents. That was back before cell phones came out, and the internet when I was a kid, and I actually wrote my grandparents letters. I would write them letters all the time, and I would come up on spring break and in the summer and spend all summer and all spring break with my grandparents. I called them on the phone constantly. I always called my grandparents. I wrote them letters. I was incredibly close to them. And regardless, even if I wasn't close to them, they decided their dying wishes were for me to have that home. And my great aunt knew this. She could have easily paid that lien, since she was going to anyway, and then have me move into it. And then I could have, or had me just own it, I could have maybe had someone move in and pay rent to pay her back. And that rent could have gone to her until she was paid off or whatever. We could have worked out something. But no, instead her grandkids or her kids moved in. They took all the stuff from my grandma's home, didn't give me a damn thing. My grandma and I used to collect Avon bottles together. I didn't get any of them. And now my mom and dad's home, same thing. That house was willed to me. And yet again, the state swoops in and decides, and again, my mom had insurance. My mom had insurance. And they still claimed that my mom owed more money. My mom sold her home for $478,000, and my mom was in memory care for like a year and a half. And they're trying to claim that with insurance, it was like $8,000. She was there for, like a year and a half. So, I'm just tired. I'm tired of the big farm and politicians and people out there that genuinely are the most corrupt, disgusting, despicable, evil fucking humans. And they're just driving around in their fancy cars, living in their fancy homes, and they have homes all over the place, many homes, and travel and travel and travel because they make money off of selling their souls and selling our souls. They make money off of screwing the people over. And Hollywood is a huge cult, gigantic, satanic, evil fucking cult. They have all sold their souls, not all of them, but the majority have sold their souls as well. And they just go around feasting on children. It's just weird. Of course, I don't know if that's true, but I could see it. Sadly, if someone took pictures and video of them actually doing that, like feasting on children, I'm sorry, but it would not surprise me if politicians in Hollywood did have satanic cults like that. It would not surprise me. Nothing anymore. Unfortunately, we've entered the phase of life where nothing surprises me anymore. Actually, what's sad actually is that, you know what surprises me? I take that back. There are things that surprise me. You know what surprises me now? Manners, kindness, respect, happiness, positivity, appreciate when people are thankful and grateful. Shocks the hell out of me. I'm like, oh my God, you're a positive person? You're a positive person? You're a grateful person? You're thankful? Oh my goodness, you're not blaming everybody else for your problems? Holy crap, I didn't even think a human like that existed. People that hold open the doors, because now guys can't hold open doors, or people can't hold open doors anymore because, you're some fascist, racist, sexist, homophobic, trans, whatever, all the words that they use. No, off, Bailey. Bailey, get off. Bailey. Sorry. People just get so crazy with name calling. If you, God forbid, I just lost my train of thought because the dog jumped up on the couch and I'm not supposed to have him up there. And sorry, I got sidetracked. But, when people are happy, I'm shocked if people actually love our country and aren't pissed off and, aren't angry all the time. That shocks me. And that's sad. Happiness shouldn't shock me. Kindness and respect shouldn't shock me. I mean, if you can't open a door for someone now without it being some kind of fascist thing to be respectful, it's not fascist in hating on women or whatever because someone's holding open a door. It's called manners, and you should get some. It's called respect, and you should get some of that as well. I'm getting the dogs all fired up. It's okay, guys. It just makes me insane. I can't sleep. How can I sleep knowing what happened to my mom and what has happened to so many people's parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and sons and daughters? They died needlessly. The Biden administration unalived so many people and created health issues because of forcing that vaccine. Remember, forcing it. They said, take the fucking vaccine or we are going to fire you. We will take away your income. We will make it impossible for you to pay your bills. We will make you homeless. We will make your children homeless and cold if you don't force this foreign thing that hasn't even been tested into your body, into your children's body. The children that you're supposed to protect as parents? As parents, you're supposed to protect your children, and they were telling us to force vaccinations into them or else, giving us ultimatums. Don't ever forget the ultimatums and what we were forced to do and the choices that we were forced to make. Could you imagine what would happen if Republicans did any of the things that the liberals have been doing for the past 10 years? Could you imagine if we made videos about if AOC was assassinated because she was some peaceful person who was just trying to communicate, trying to bring people together through communication, through understanding, through talk, through discussion, peaceful, respectful, not yelling discussion. And again, if people haven't seen all of Charlie Kirk's full unedited, not the CNN version, not the liberal version, because those are edited. Those are edited to make him look bad, just like when they said that Trump asked for an insurrection. No. There are things called proof, evidence, video, unedited video. The actual, real, factual videos of Charlie Kirk. The actual, real, factual videos of Trump that day did not even close to call for an insurrection. Only the pieced together, very clipped, pieced together, Frankenstein together version that CNN and the liberal media put out. Just like the pieced together, edited version, taken out of context things that people put about Charlie Kirk. So I suggest you watch things with Charlie Kirk that aren't edited. But if we were to dress up like AOC's corpse and say we didn't give a crap about her children, if she had children, and didn't care about her children and didn't care about, we rejoiced and celebrated in her assassination and dressed up like her corpse. And people are going to go, oh, well, people have said this to me. Oh, you guys, what about Renee Good? What about Alex Petty? What about Renee Good? First of all, Renee Good was up to no good. She was no good. She was not good. But no one rejoiced. They said it was sad and tragic. Most people started their sentences with, it was sad and tragic, and I'm sorry that it happened. But it was her fault because she put herself in a position where she did not listen to authority. She defied authority numerous times. She was not being peaceful like Charlie Kirk. She was not sitting there having a calm discussion with people that chose to be there. People chose to come to listen to Charlie Kirk. He wasn't forcing himself on anybody. He wasn't going through the streets barricading things. He wasn't preventing people from going anywhere or to anywhere. He wasn't screaming and yelling. He wasn't making people listen to him. He wasn't obstructing the law. He wasn't doing anything illegal. Both Alex Petty and Renee Good were. They were doing all of the above. They were obstructing the law. They were doing illegal things. They were defying the orders of police officers. And so what people said was it was sad and tragic, but they put themselves in that position. So unfortunately, they died because of choices they made. Those are the types of things Republicans said. Nobody went and dressed like their corpses. Nobody got on social media and started saying how amazing it was that happened and laughing and rejoicing and reenacting. People were reenacting the scene of when Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I'm sorry, Republicans didn't do any of that. And if we did, there have already been riots for 10 years now. For 10 years, even when Biden was president, still riots. Even when Biden was president, they were still rioting. And yet, it hasn't stopped. And so if we were to get on social media and be rejoicing at the celebration of one of their people, or doing what people have been doing now, which is calling for the unaliving for the assassination of Trump and his family, which is what they've been doing since 2016. They've actually been threatening Barron, who at the time was very young. He was like fucking 12 years old, 10 years old, and they were threatening him. What if we were to threaten Obama's kids, Sasha and Malia? What if we were to go, if there was an attempt on Obama's life, if there was an assassination attempt on his life and Obama lived, what if Republicans did what Democrats did and went, oh, dang, I wish they wouldn't have missed. Too bad they didn't miss. My God, it would be the apocalypse. Nobody would be alive right now. because it's already where they're rioting and screaming and freaking out. So if one of their people, but yet they have no problem getting on social media and talking very openly, very brazenly about how they not only want Trump to be assassinated, but they're just calling out for Iran, for anybody in Iran and all of the terrorist organizations. They're calling out for those people to take out Trump and his family. And then people are like, well, freedom of speech. No, Dingledup. Just like Don Lemon. There are rights, and then there are things that are illegal. You do not, I repeat, not, N-O-T, you do not have the right, actually, to threaten the president of the United States. That's not a right that you have. You have the right not to like him, but you don't have the right to threaten his life. That's actually not legal. That's very, very illegal. You also don't have the right, Don Lemon, to go into a church, which is a private organization and is protected by law. Worshipers are protected by law from people like him, like Don. You don't get to barge into a private facility, especially during worship, and block the aisleways and scream and yell. You don't have the right as a journalist to do that. Journalists don't have any different rights. They may get passes to be places that other people don't. They may have access to places that other people don't, but they don't abide. The Constitution isn't different for them. That was a very ignorant and stupid fucking thing for Don to say. I'm sorry, Don, because you're black, do you have a whole other, is there a black constitution? Is there a journalist constitution that I'm unaware of? Oh, no, I'm a journalist. I have the right to completely scream in people's ears during church service and scare children. And then go, well, that's a consequence. Okay, well, back at you, Don. That's a consequence. When you go in and you don't abide by the law, you also have consequences. And I love how you don't think that you need any or deserve any, but children do. Children deserve consequences. Elderly people deserve consequences. See, we circle back around again to this whole Democrat thing where they just can't stand children or the elderly, and they go out of their way, like COVID and like this whole new gender affirming surgery, which again, if there's no gender, you can't have gender affirming surgery. So that goes to show you right there how fucking stupid it is. You don't get to have gender-affirming surgery when you're claiming there are no genders, and you freak out when people say that there are genders and that there are two of them. So then what are you becoming, or what are you getting rid of then? Because if you say you no longer want to be a boy, according to you, there is not such thing as a boy or a girl. But my mom has passed away because of Democrat policies during COVID. And I don't want people to forget how COVID was handled by the Democrats. And I don't want people to forget how Afghanistan was handled. And I don't want people to forget that Obama and Hillary supported a war against Iran. Obama deported twice as many illegal immigrants, and you guys all supported that. There's just so many hypocrisies. I just can't. But I will never, ever, ever, ever forgive people that were on board with and supported and shamed people for not getting a vaccination. People that were on board with people being fired because they didn't get a vaccination and are now sitting here bitching about the Trump administration. Go fuck yourself. I'm going to say that again too. Go right along, stick your finger in your ass, and fuck yourself. That's graphic, that's harsh, it's gross, but I'm not sorry because I cannot sleep. I am riddled with the vision and the sound of my mom calling me scared to death. Did your mom call you begging you to come and see her because she was scared and lonely? Did you have a family member scared to death and crying out for you to come see them and you didn't get to? Because if that didn't happen to you, then you don't even begin to understand my graphic things that I say. Because the graphic things I say don't even begin to, I can't even convey how sad and upset I am over the things that were done to my mom and to the American people and their rights. So many rights were violated. And right now we're sitting here talking about Trump. There was 0 rights that have ever been violated. Trump has not taken away a single constitutional right. And every single time that a Republican has ever asked a liberal or a Democrat or an independent, hey, give me examples of rights, of constitutional rights that Donald Trump has taken from you, they all go, I don't want to have this conversation anymore. You're a racist. You're a say it with me. We all know the words. Fascist, racist, Nazi, bigot, and some kind of phobe. 10 years of the same words. Recycled, regurgitated words because they need to get a thesaurus and a dictionary, actually. So my graphic nature doesn't even begin to tell you how deeply pissed off and sad and riddled with guilt I have over the administration that decided that we should shut down everything but let Gavin Newsom and the politicians run wild without masks. And we should allow big pharma and big companies to make billions of dollars while mom and pop shops were forced out and people lost their livelihoods and they didn't have a home. While illegal aliens, though, got free fucking everything. My mom didn't get cared for, but illegal aliens did. Grandma and grandpa and sister and brother and aunt and uncle and friends, they didn't get cared for. They didn't get the information that they needed. They didn't get the facts they needed. They didn't get the care that they needed, but illegal immigrants did. Yeah. So honestly, on my IRS, people joke around about this all the time, but there's so much fraud going on. The IRS has the audacity to say during tax season that we owe them money. You're going to say that, IRS? You're going to say that anyone fucking owes you money? Fuck yourself again. I don't owe you a red goddamn cent. You've been stealing from the American public. I don't even think I'll get Social Security. I won't even get Social Security, and I've been forced. It was mandatory that I paid Social Security. Didn't have a choice, and I probably won't get it. So that's money that was stolen to me. So you owe me about $100,000. Not to mention all the fraud that's been going on with healthcare and with assisted living facilities like my mom, like the one my mom was in that she paid an absorbent amount of money for, even though she had fucking insurance and had to sell her house to be able to pay for her fucking bills. Yeah. I don't owe you shit. The American people don't owe the government a damn fucking thing. Nothing. I think every single American citizen, not illegal alien, and stop saying undocumented. Undocumented means illegal. That's just a fancy term for illegal. And stop saying illegal immigrants. They are not immigrants, they're aliens. They are foreign bodies that don't belong here. You can come here. I don't care if people from all countries. I welcome people from all countries if you're here to visit. And if you are here to be respectful and pick up after yourself, if you are here legally as an immigrant, that is an immigrant. An immigrant is someone that is here legally. I mean, we don't really have people migrating over here now. We have people moving over here now. We've already established America. America is already a country. It's already established. We don't have people, migrating over here on a wagon anymore, okay? People that come over here now have moved here. They took a fucking plane or a car, okay? So I welcome everybody from Democrat, Republican, conservative, independent, fat, short, all races, male, female, whatever. I don't care. But if you are here illegally, I do care because people like you are the reason that my mom didn't get care. And I blame you. And I blame the Biden administration. And I blame the Obama administration. So that's what's been keeping me up. And I'm sure it's keeping a lot of people up. I know I am not the only one. That reminded me of John Lennon, Imagine. So I've been crying, I've been yelling, I'm angry, I'm pissed, I'm sad, I feel guilty. And it does keep me up a lot. It's why I started this podcast. Again, my earlier podcasts have an intro and an outro. So if you want to listen to those and why I started this podcast, I talk all about it. This is not new. And nobody should watch the Oscars. Nobody should listen to a damn fucking thing. These Hollywood people are overpaid court jesters. I've been saying that forever and ever. I've been saying it on my podcasts forever, on my videos on YouTube and TikTok forever. Hollywood is just a bunch of overpaid court jesters. Dance for me, entertain me. They forget that they work for us. They forget that if we don't go to their movies, if we don't watch their shows, if we don't buy their tickets, if we don't buy their merchandise, if we don't follow them on social media, they have nothing. They act like they have power over us. No. Don't get it twisted. You work for us. Dance for us, little monkey. Dance for us, little outbreak monkey. Little COVID weirdos. You little masked weirdos. You get paid to entertain the masses, and you think you're so great? Look, I love entertainment. There are a lot of celebrities that I'm sure are incredibly nice people with morals and ethics. Not all of Hollywood is corrupt, just like not all liberals and Democrats. Well, I think most liberals are, but I don't think all Democrats are terrible. I talk about this all the time. I feel like there's OG Democrats, perfectly lovely, normal people. But this new Democrat, this new 2016 version, I'm not on board with. Sorry. It's regression. They've gone back. So far, it's insanity. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. I've been trying to do positive podcasts, and I've been trying to do podcasts that aren't just about politics because I have grandkids and I have sons, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm looking on the positive side and control things that I can control and be grateful for things and thankful, which I am. I am grateful. I am thankful. I know that I am blessed. I have a lot of things that people don't have, and I always talk about how grateful I am, and I behave as if I'm grateful. I walk the walk and I talk the talk, but sometimes that doesn't mean I'm not going to be pissed. That doesn't mean I'm not going to have things that are on my mind that bother me, that are political, and those things are going to tick people off, and they're going to ruffle some feathers, because I don't always say things in the nicest way, and I do get fired up, and I do get graphic, and I do yell. It's called emotions, and when you've gone through the shit I've gone through in my life, which would take, I'd have to be doing a podcast for a long time. That's why this white privilege thing pisses me off, because my life has been not privileged. I have gone through fucking hell. I've had a very difficult life. I just don't use it as an excuse. I want my grandkids and my sons to know what strength is and confidence is, and know what kindness and respect is, and not using excuses. There's reasons. Reasons are different than excuses. Excuses are a dime a dozen. Excuses are weak people's crap. I don't know. I want to stay happy and positive, and I am most of the time. I really am. And I am thankful most of the time. But today, I'm not. Today, I'm sad. Today, I miss my mom. Today, I want my mom. I want my mom. And I know there's a lot of people that feel the same way I do. I want my dad. I miss my dad. I want my dog. I want everybody that has passed. I want all my animals back. I just miss my family. I don't. I feel betrayed by people. I'm tired of bending over backwards for people and being there for people and just being betrayed. Anyway, sorry, I'm not really a sunshine, I'm not really Mary Sunshine today. But I hope that your day is going better. I just wanted to remind people of the things that have been done by the Biden administration that we can't forget. All the mutilation of children and the aborting of children and the forcing of vaccinations, closing down businesses, all of the fraud that's been going on and the possible voters fraud, billions and billions and billions and billions with the B in fraud between just Minnesota and California. Just 2 states. And there's billions with the B, and then the tax, and then the IRS is like, you owe us money, fuck you. None of us should pay a damn fucking thing. I mean, I'm not saying you should listen to me because I don't want you to get into trouble for not paying, but I don't know if I'm going to pay, and I know that I'll get in trouble if I don't. That's bullshit, because again, they owe us money, especially because I won't see a dime of my Social Security. So this is what I'm talking about. This is absolute insanity. Politicians are shitty whether they're Republican or Democrat. Anyway, on that note, boy, what a way to end a podcast, right? Sorry, guys. I really do try to be positive most of the time. I try not to yell and scream and cry most of the time, and I know I don't always achieve it, but I tell you from the beginning, I talk about stuff that keeps me up, and sometimes it ain't pretty. But you know what is awesome? You guys. I see people from all countries. So many countries have been tuning in, people from all over the place, and man, do I appreciate it. It warms my heart to see people from different countries listening to me. Man, thank you. Thank you so much. I have a YouTube channel, and I have TikTok, and I have an Instagram, but I'm not ever on it. And I have Facebook. I'm not really on it that much either, but my YouTube channel, my TikTok, I'm on. Ramblings of an Insomniac. But thank you guys. Honestly, thank you so, so much. And let us just not forget about things that politicians do. Before we vote, we really need to remember these things and not just let it go like a lot of people seem to do. It's a big deal. It's a big deal who our president is. So we got to put some thought into it, right? Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Until next time.